Welcome, everybody, to episode number 13 of the Bulldog Bark, where we talk nothing but Crown Point football. And we've got a lot to talk about today with head coach Craig Bazia. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Ski, how are you? Good things are happening here, and we're still alive. And I think anytime you're still alive, it's a good thing. So we're looking forward to semi-state football.
Yeah, episode 13. Now, you know, when you get into those double digits, you must be doing something right.
Yeah, luckily I'm not a superstitious guy because hopefully 13 is lucky for us here, right?
It's just an episode of the Bulldog Bark. It's nothing to do with football.
All right.
Well, let's talk some football, Coach. Let's just go back to Friday night in the 34-33 victory over the Penn Kingsmen. What an exciting game! It just comes. You have the lead. You don't have the lead. They have the lead. Momentum. So many momentum switches and turnovers in that game. If I know as a coach, it's a little nerve-wracking, but that's what Friday Night Lights are all about, right there.
Well, that's what they say. I mean, I haven't talked to a person that said, "Man, that's the greatest game I've ever seen. What a game! What a game!" I didn't think too much of it, to be honest with you. As a coach, you see it in a whole different perspective, and but in retrospect, you look at it. I don't know if you could have a more exciting game than what that took place at Penn. I mean, just an incredible ebbs and flows of football, and just when you think we're ready to knock them out, they come back in. Just when you think they're going to knock us out, we come back in, and just extraordinary night of football. And we are just so blessed to be able to be playing another week after a game like that.
The offense, defense, both did their jobs, but one part of the game that sometimes is overlooked is special teams, and this game was won on special teams.
It certainly was, and we started off the week on Monday, and usually that's a big install day for us on offense and defense. And for the first time in my career, at least at Crown Point, we had two special team segments on Monday, and we really wanted our guys to understand how important special teams was going to be in that game. Penn is notoriously fantastic on special teams, whether it's punt return, kick returns, covering kicks, whatever. And so we just wanted to get on our guys' heads that this game's going to come down to a block kick or a return or a bad snap or whatever, and just letting our guys know that how important it was going to be. And lo and behold, it comes down to a special team play.
And, of course, that was Seamus Molaski getting his hand on the football. And I guess special teams down to it at the end, too, in your favor. On their side, the missed field goal at the end of the game. Coach, I mean, I know you're coaching and it's a whole different level, but talk to me about what's going through your head when they drive down, they spike the ball, there's just seconds left in the game, and it all comes down to a field goal attempt.
Yeah, at that point, it's sort of out of your hands. But again, I think, I think some people thought that last ball was tipped. It was not. It was just a kickoff to the left. However, I think anytime that you've blocked the last kick, like Seamus did, and we came pretty close to blocking a couple others, I think that sort of gets in the head of the kicker, and that may or may not have had something to do with why it was wide left. But it's one of those things that you just plant that seed that, hey, we can block another one. But at that point, you're just hoping for the best. And I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, a 43-yarder. And our coaches had said that they saw him warming up at halftime, kicking some at halftime, and he was kicking, some at 55 yards. So, when they told me that, obviously it wasn't didn't make me too happy. But again, kicking when there's nobody on there, and kicking when there's not a defense in front of you is a whole different deal, right? And then when you're kicking for a chance to put your team into the semi-state, with 11 men rushing you, that's a little bit different. Hopefully that paid off for us, just having that first or that last extra point block, and hopefully got into their head a little bit.
I'm sure it makes a difference, too, when the team is spiking the ball and having to run out there quickly and get ready, unlike a timeout or something where you have some time. The kicker has a little chance to focus. It was kind of a rushed play at the time.
Yeah, and we work on that every Thursday, and I'm sure they work on it as well. But again, to do it in front of a huge crowd and a lot of people yelling and screaming and a lot of people holding hopes out for you to make it or miss it, I think that's a little bit different. So pressure definitely comes into play when you're looking at that. But I think Penn did the right thing. A lot of people said should they ran one more play. Obviously, I don't coach their team. I think they probably felt like their kicker was in range to kick it, and they didn't want to take a chance of fumbling the ball or getting tackled inbounds because they didn't have any more timeouts left.
Right.
So I think they did the right thing, and unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us, it didn't work out.
Well, Coach, you're the regional champs. You don't hear that too often, but it sounds great. It must feel great. How does it feel for you and your team?
Well, it's one of those things that I don't think it even sunk in even over the weekend until you come back and you're still practicing, and you're one of four teams that are still practicing in 6A on Monday, and it's just we usually have a 24-hour rule where we get it enjoyed for 24 hours, but this time we said take 48. We gave them Saturday off just because we got back so late. From Penn, and took that ride through the square and everything. I mean, just an incredible welcome back by the community. But by the time we got back and got out of there, it was about 12:30. So we took Saturday off and Sunday, obviously, and then we're back to work on Monday. So it's just good to be playing football again this late in November. Usually, most of the time, for most teams, it doesn't happen that way.
Right. And I heard you say something interesting to the guys after the game, and they all shook their head in agreement with you. You said, the best thing about this is we get to see each other again on Monday. And it kind of says something about you and your coaching staff and your team and how close you guys must be.
Yeah, I mean that's really, the worst part of losing is you don't get to see him anymore, and the best part is you get to see him. And we tell our guys after every after every week, let's make a deal. We're back here, next Monday, same place, same time, and so far it's worked out. And so this week when we got together on Monday, we said the same thing, but it's going to be one of those days where we either got 4 days left or you got 11 days left. Other than that, I mean, this season's over, right? I mean, next Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, it's just, it's fun. You got to enjoy it. You got to embrace it. And it's, for most programs, it doesn't happen, but obviously since Crown Point hasn't happened since 1988. So, you just got to be able to, just enjoy it, and we're going to do the best we can, and hopefully good things happen. But it's certainly good to spend another week with our guys.
Well, let's take a look at the Station 21 players of the game for this last week. And before we do, Coach, we skipped somebody last week, and I just want to mention him. We had his picture in, but we weren't able to talk about him last week in the win at the sectional victory. The Bone Crusher play of the week was Dom Fanton, and I just wanted to recognize him and make sure he got his recognition for last week.
Yeah, so I saw where Dom was on, but we didn't get to speak to him very much. But yeah, Dom is a fantastic, had a fantastic year. He's a sophomore safety for us. Actually one of four sophomores that are playing on our defense. So, he's really one of the two captains back there, along with Griffin Van Titchell. And both of them are sophomores and have been doing a great job for us. And Dom's gained a reputation of being a hitter back there. I mean, obviously he can do some things defend in the pass, but he is not afraid to come in and stick his nose in there and lay the woods to some people. And the week before against Lake Central game, he came in and laid a hit on somebody and was our bone crusher of the week. So, certainly don't want to forget him. He's had an outstanding season.
Well, let's take a look at this week's players of the week. First off, on the defense, it's number one, Will Clark. I got to tell you, Coach, I was just watching this game and then going back and watching all of the film that we took. Will Clark is literally in on every tackle in the game. Every time there's a tackle, number one is getting up from the pile. How does he do it?
Crazy. I mean, just absolutely. I mean, he has a nose for the ball, and he just trusts his reads, and he's able to get where he needs to be. And if somebody's trying to block him, he destroys the block and gets to the tackler. So I couldn't agree with you more, though. Looking back on the game, obviously you don't see that as much when you're on the sidelines, but when you look back at it, he had a phenomenal game. I think he had 16 tackles and was just everywhere, a middle linebacker should be.
On the offensive side, the player of the game, number 5, Jacob Jones, had a great game.
Jacob had some very, very timely plays for us. Obviously, when you move the ball, almost 450 yards against a Penn team, somebody's doing something right? So obviously our offensive line did a great job. No sacks for Noah. So that, they did a great job in the run game and the pass game. But, Noah had an outstanding game throwing the ball. Larry Ellison, what could you say about him? 38 carries, 178 yards. Some of those were really, really tough yards when we had him back in our Wildcat type formation. And they knew he was going to run it, and he was still able to gain yards. So he had a great game. But Jacob Jones took a screen all the way to the house, about a 65-yard screen pass. He ran a reverse for us that got a crucial first down at the end of the game, and had an unbelievable catch on the sideline where he had to toe tap and get his feet in. That got us a huge first down right before we scored, the go-ahead touchdown. So a lot of guys, a lot of candidates. It's always good. Nick Stoley caught a long touchdown pass as well. But Jacob Jones, for his really timely receptions and playmaking abilities, was our offensive player of the week.
You talked about Larry and making some great plays even when they thought he was running. There was a pretty crucial play late in the fourth quarter when it was 4th down, and you guys went for it. He was originally stopped at the line of scrimmage, but made that second surge to get that first down, and that was huge.
Yep, and that's what Larry's done all year long, right? I mean, anytime he's a marked man, and obviously, most of the time they know he's going to carry the ball with one back in the backfield, but he is determined. He is one determined individual, and we have a ton of confidence in him when it's short yardage that he's going to pick it up for us.
Special teams player of the week, you know who it is. Number 85, Seamus Molaski with the big block.
The big block. I mean, people will remember that forever. He got his hand up there, and we block. We have a couple different ways we block extra points, and one of them is coming off the edge or trying to find a weak person on their team where we can maybe blitz through a gap. But we also have a team which comes in and they're just jumpers, right? And so we try to get as much penetration as we can at the line of scrimmage, and Seamus and Will or Landon, whoever, we decided who's going to be the jumpers for that week, tries to get some penetration, tries to jump up and get a piece of it. And I'll be darned if it didn't happen. And I've got to give credit to Coach Granger for that, because that's his extra point block team. And he had that all schemed up, and Seamus executed it. And we told our guys, our special teams, those games that have come down to, one point, let's not be that guy that doesn't do their job, and we have to go home and put our stuff away because of a 1-point loss. Well, it just happened just the other way. And Seamus with a great block and great determination after they tied the game, and ended up being our special teams play and player of the week.
This week we do have a bone-crushing play of the week as well, and it's Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin Van Titchell, another one of those sophomore safeties we talked about, came down and laid a great hit on the Penn running back and caused a fumble. And again, those two sophomore safeties have done a great job, not only in the pass game but in the run game, and both of them not afraid to come down and hit. And because of that, Griffin is our bone crusher of the week.
Let's look at the scout team. On the offensive side, it's number 84, Anderson Keller.
Anderson is a freshman that we brought up at the end of the year, and he's just really been impressive to us. So, he's doing a good job on the scout team, and sometimes those freshmen come down and they're a little bit hesitant, but Anderson isn't. And he is jumps in there anytime he can, and because of his efforts, our defensive staff has recognized him as a scout player of the week.
Then on the defensive side, it's number 75, Greg Freeman.
Yeah, so Penn had a couple of very, very active defensive tackles, and we needed someone to simulate those two. And Greg is one of those guys that he's just like the ever-ready bunny. He just never stops, and he did a fantastic job of us, being able for us to try to block him and all the slanting in England that Penn was doing. And he gave our guys a great picture, and we've rewarded them for that.
All right, well, congratulations to all of the Station 21 players of the week. Great job and a great victory again, 34-33 over the Penn Kingsmen. With the win, the team now moves on to the semi-state. It hasn't happened since 1988. And this week, Coach, you're going to be playing a team from Indianapolis, the Shamrocks from Westfield. What do you know about them?
Well, we know that they've won over the last 10 years. They've won the second most football games in the state, right behind Center Grove. So that speaks volumes to what type of program they are. They've been to the state finals, I believe, 4 times in the last 10 years and 3 in the last 4 or 5 years. They know how to get to Lucas Oil. They've done it several times recently, and it's not by mistake. They are a very, very, very talented team, well coached. Diverse on offense, aggressive on defense, one of the best kickers in the country. So what we're going to have coming into our place is probably the best football team that's ever, walked through the gates of Crown Point High School. So it's a challenge. We're looking forward to it. Anytime you get to the Final Four, when you're talking about Westfield, Ben Davis, and Center Grove, we're honored to be part of that Final Four. That's for sure.
Well, and you got to be honored as well, the way the brackets worked out, a home game in the semi-state. That's never happened, huh?
It's never happened. Crown Point's never had hosted a semi-state game, and it's going to be the first one. And it seems like the Crown Crown Point community is rallying behind us, and I think we're going to have an excellent crowd out there, and we're going to need every bit of them because we're playing an excellent team. But the fact that we get to showcase our program against a program that's is as good as there is in Indiana and in Crown Point, we are extremely excited and looking forward to the challenge that it brings.
Well, Coach, we can't wish you luck enough. Bring one home, bring home a semi-state. Let's get to that final game, and it all happens Friday night, 7:00. It's the Shamrocks against the Bulldogs. Should be a great night for football.
Well, it certainly should be. And again, when you're one of 4 teams that are still left, we feel honored to be in the position. And we told our guys, they deserve to be there. And we know what the challenge is ahead, but we couldn't be more excited to play at home one more time in front of our fans. And the challenge is huge, but we look forward to it and look forward to showcasing our team on a state level. And we know the Crown Point community will be behind us, and we just can't. We're just so excited to have the opportunity to go out and compete one more time. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we're back next week talking about a Bulldog win. So go Dogs!
That would be great. Well, it happens Friday night, 7:00. Get your tickets early. The Shamrocks against the Bulldogs in the semi-state up north. You can't be looking for anything better for Friday night football than this matchup. Coach, thanks for joining us today. Have a great week of practice, and best of luck in the game on Friday night.
Thank you, Ski. Appreciate it.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at the Bulldog Bar. We'll see you hopefully again next week. And until then, be out at the game, 7:00. Friday night, Bulldogs, Shamrocks at Crown Point High School. We'll talk to you later.